thank you for joining us, and let's have a quick look at what has happened in the world of current affairs as we get closer to developing what the truth is or not. In Durban, an alleged manufacturer is expected to appear in court today after he was caught red-handed processing crack cocaine. Hawks spokesperson Captain Simpiwe Mhlongo said that on Friday, Hawks members from Port Shepston Serious Organised Crime Investigation Unit working with the Durban Metro Police Drug Team arrested a 34-year-old suspect for manufacturing drugs in the Mount Edgecombe area north of Durban. Mhlongo said the police had received information about a suspect who was manufacturing drugs in the area. An intelligence-driven operation was concluded. They proceeded to the premises and the suspect was caught red-handed processing crack cocaine. He was subsequently placed under arrest and charged accordingly. During the search, pieces of crack cocaine, full moon blocks, half moon blocks, quarter moon blocks, pure cocaine powder, crushed cocaine powder, and miracle powder to the street value of approximately 563,500 rand was seized. Various drug paraphernalia, including scales, sealer scissors, cutting blades, packaging material, bottles, and cooking pots were confiscated. Mhlongo said the suspect was expected to appear in the Verulam Magistrates Court today. It is highly appreciated that our members dismantled this laboratory with an arrest and they will continue to search for more. Meanwhile, on Thursday, police officers from the Organised Crime Investigation and Narcotics Unit executed a search warrant on a suspected drug laboratory in Nguntwini in the Sundumbili policing precinct. Police spokesperson Brigadier Jay Naika said that the police stormed the premises and discovered that the suspects had fled, leaving their machines running. The African National Congress condemned the blasphemous remarks by the MP Mohammed Khalid Sayed. Sayed is a member of the ANC Wine branch and a member of the provincial legislature. What did he say? Well, let's get into it. He recently made comments about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him. Sayed allegedly accused the companions of Prophet Muhammad of being hypocrites and hiding their disbelief. The comments were made during a lecture conducted by Al-Ul Bayt Mosque in Cape Town on the 7th of August. Sayed released an apology where he stated that he understands the anger from the Muslim community. He noted that there was a broader context to the comments he made, but will still withdraw his comments and acknowledge that they were deeply offensive. The ANC says it respects and upholds all religious denominations and supports the Muslim community. The party revealed that Sayed was reprimanded, adding that his views should not only be withdrawn, but never again repeated. The ANC has reprimanded Comrade Khaled Sayed and further notes and welcomes his apology to the Muslim community, which we insisted that it is made public and that such views are not withdrawn but never repeated again in the ruling parties. This is what the ruling party had said. In other ANC-related news, it was previously reported that the African National Congress Deputy President David Mamuza has told the party's Northwest Elective Conference that its constituents are losing confidence and faith in the liberation movement as it navigates a myriad of challenges, including factionalism. It is also known that it's also a known fact that we are facing challenges. We meet at a time when the people we profess to lead are now starting to question themselves. And they doubt our ability to provide leadership to the complex societal challenges of the moment, he said. Mabuza delivered the opening address at the conference in Rustenburg on Saturday, the 13th of August, where several figures are vying to become provincial chairperson, including Supra Mahumapelo, Shomani Chauke, Kenetswe Mosenogi, and like other provinces, the ANC in the Northwest is divided. Oh, man. But fortunately, cooler heads did prevail and a new elected provincial leadership structure has been put into place. 24 after 9 right now as we continue with moments in current affairs. While responding to written questions, Cocta Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma said there is no need for national legislation in terms of regulating and slaughtering of animals in urban areas for customary purposes. NDZ was responding to the questions posed by the EFF MP Makhanya Ceza. Ceza inquired about action taken by the Traditional Affairs Department in introducing national legislation to revoke discriminatory bylaws that relate to permits that are often needed to slaughter animals for customary purposes in urban areas. Dlamini Zuma said the government has not introduced additional national legislation on this, explaining that this is guided by municipal bylaws and guidelines. These practices are currently guided by municipal bylaws and guidelines, which are also informed by the Abattoirs Hygiene Act, she said. She did note that the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities released guidelines on the customary slaughtering of animals. Dlamini Zuma stated that the report says that seeking a municipality's permission to slaughter is encouraged and no municipality may refuse an individual's right to slaughter animals. Speaking about the municipal bylaws, NDZ said these existed to ensure that slaughtering was not done in an inhumane manner. It also takes into consideration the health requirements and the rights of others. She said the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities observed that the time period for the application of slaughtering in some municipalities needs to be revised in order to accommodate funerals. Similarly, commissions found that in other municipalities the bylaws need to be made more explicit when it comes to expectations regarding slaughtering in a residential area, as part of its intervention to assist the Commission in arranging to meet with these municipalities to take these matters forward. Meanwhile, it was previously reported that Chippa United had invited all its fans to join the Pride of the Eastern Cape when they slaughter a cow, hand over a house, while also giving away full soccer kits and equipment to 4 identical local teams. Siviwe Mpengesi, also known as Chippa, and Premier will also donate 200 blankets to elders in Gqeberha. This festivity will also serve as an opportunity for supporters to engage with the 2023 Premier Soccer League season squad, while also getting a first glimpse of the new players and additional club acquisitions ahead of the new season. And of course, Chippa United doing big work yesterday as they stepped up to the plate, beating Orlando Pirates just by 1-0. But we'll get into that a little bit later on in the program. As we continue with moments in current affairs, how should we proceed? Well, this is where we're going. A guard hut was set alight and a park entrance gate shut to the public during the community protest at Hluhluwe Mfolozi Game Reserve at the weekend, sparked by the recent escape of several lions and other dangerous wildlife species. Police were also called to disperse the protesters after a community sit-in at the protest at the park's western Cengani gate near Ulundi on Saturday. The park, established 145 years ago to protect a remnant population of white rhinos as Ezemvelo, KwaZulu-Natal's flagship wildlife reserve. According to Ezemvelo, community members stole cell phones, food, and pieces of sophisticated rhino anti-poaching equipment from nearby ranger accommodation quarters, a guard hut next to Cengani entrance gate, and set alight the solar panels used as power and electrified fence which were vandalized. The protest was sparked by a series of recent escapes by dangerous animals, including lions, rhino, buffalo, and elephant. In one incident last week, a 45-year-old woman was hospitalized after being knocked over by a white rhino outside her home near the park's western boundary fence. A guard hut at the Cengani gate was to the Hluhluwe Mfolozi Game Park during the community sit-in was knocked over and definitely damaged. One of the solar panels damaged during the community protest at Hluhluwe Mfolozi Park. And in a formal complaint, committee members Msizi Miyaga and Smilo Kanyile said the repeated escape of the wild animals and the poor condition of large sections of fencing around the park posed a serious danger to the lives of surrounding communities, who had also suffered the loss of several livestock from both lions and hyenas. They said a buffalo was seen outside the reserve recently and 4 elephants had escaped into the Masoganeni area in the month. In a media statement, Ezemvelo spokesperson Musa Mtambo said the Cengani Gate, one of 3 main entrances to the park, had been closed due to community protests and would likely remain shut until the 15th of August, which is today. Early this morning, former ANC MP Nono Maloyi was announced as the new party chairperson of the Northwest Province. President Cyril Ramaphosa will no longer close the provincial conference after it was hit by a security breach. The cash-strapped ruling party is looking at having a second leg of the gathering in 2 weeks' time. The ANC has opposed a criminal case against a group that stormed its registration point at Olympia Park Stadium in Rustenburg and took accreditation tags, which were later cloned by people seeking to participate in the conference illegally. This was confirmed by the People's Party's heading of the organization, Nomvula Nokonyane, during a media briefing on last night. Some members of the crowd said Mokonyane were rowdy, drunk and ill-disciplined. They manhandled and eventually overpowered the security personnel and the party's admin staff. Fortunately, there's footage, and they hope that as the organization, they will be able to exercise discipline over the above, laying criminal charges against those individuals. The tags that were taken and later cloned were meant to be distributed after a readjustment of voting delegates. This was after the Interim Provincial Committee, the IPC, and the Interim Regional Committee, the IRC, were stripped of their voting powers by a court action brought by an aggrieved member who argued that the IPC structure was unconstitutional as its term had lapsed 3 years ago. Mokonyane, however, suggested the party's systems were watertight as they could detect the duplicated accreditation tags. It is unclear how many people were involved. Beyond being in breach of law, Justice Mogoeng's run for presidency would call into question the motivations behind his previous public statements and whether they were solely guided by the law or perhaps with an eye for high political office representing a political party. Most announcements of a candidate running for president are made in front of television cameras and bright lights with such fanfare as possible. In a surprising move, retired Chief Justice Mogoeng's presidential run was announced in a 2-minute video clip shot in a dimly lit room, nevertheless set Twitter abuzz. In the clip, a man representing a little-known All-Africa Alliance movement is seen holding hands with Mogoeng, making a grand announcement directly to the camera. Although Mogoeng did nothing but smile in the video and subsequent media reports say he declined to comment, the video at least signals a public declaration of a run for political office, probably representing the All-Africa Alliance movement. But can Justice Mogoeng do this? Can a retired judge, a retired Chief Justice in the case, run for president? To protect judicial independence, judges are given lifetime appointments to the bench. This means that once you are appointed as a judge, you will die as a judge, unless, of course, a judge is impeached by Parliament. Judicial office also comes with several lifetime benefits. Mogoeng receives remuneration of about 2.8 million per annum, which includes car allowance, medical benefits, spousal benefits, and at the highest echelons, personal security. The Constitution at Section 176.3 states that a judge's salary, allowances, and benefits may not be reduced. The ultimate purpose of this is to free judges from the pressures and temptations of seeking income elsewhere. It is a safeguard against judges being brought to decide cases in a certain way. With all these benefits come with some far-reaching restrictions on even judges' personal lives. It prohibits judges from receiving any payment for any service or holding any paid office other than judicial office. The Code of Judicial Conduct goes even further and limits several other aspects of a judge's life. For example, judges may not be members of political parties, they may not speak on specific issues, especially ones that could be seen as reflecting on the merits of a case pending before the courts, or on issues that seem critical of other judges, but particularly ones that may draw the judge into political controversy. Judges must also be careful who they associate with. According to a new poll, the Ipsos poll, the ANC is collapsing as the majority party and South Africans are despondent, mainly because of the accelerating cost of living. Despite being down the post-Nasrec highs, President Cyril Ramaphosa is still South Africa's most highly regarded political leader. A new representative poll by Ipsos suggests that if an election were held tomorrow, the ANC would get 42%, the DA 11%, the EFF 9%, and Herman Mashaba's Action SA 3% of the votes at a national level. A second poll published by Report the weekend said the ANC has 38%, the DA 27%, and the EFF at 10%. Those are vastly different numbers, though. Either way, it's bad news for the governing party. At the weekend, the ANC deputy president warned the delegates to a provincial conference that it was bleeding support because of the party's state. Oskido celebrates DJ Zinhle and Murder's marriage and gives them his blessing. He said, "As your friend, it's truly my pleasure to celebrate you both today. Your marriage makes the world a better place." This after DJ revealed the news in episode 1 of season 2 of DJ's show, DJ Zinhle, The Unexpected. Bongani and his family came to my family home to negotiate my bride price, and we decided that it should be a small thing and it's just a family and Bongani, my family and Bongani's family. The married couple and radio jock Unatinkai recently celebrated Oskido at a graduation party after he managed to graduate with top marks. "It's such an inspiring thing to do, such a proud moment and such an amazing party. I was put in charge of the party, so I had to make sure," he said. Oskido told me on social media I will be organizing his graduation party, and I said I'll do it, and if we are all allowed to wear graduation gowns. I did not understand how big that was until I went to the party and saw people wearing graduation gowns and belts. It was so dope, she said. Well, congratulations to them. Finally, and further afield in our beautiful but sometimes troubled continent of Africa, Kenyans prayed for peace Sunday as they waited anxiously for the final outcome of a tight presidential race, with the two frontrunners neck and neck according to partial officials' results. As of Sunday morning, Deputy President William Ruto has scored 51.25% of the vote, reversing earlier gains from his main rival Raila Odinga, who had 48.09%. According to data from the Election Commission covering nearly 50% of the constituencies. Tuesday's vote passed off largely peacefully after the previous election sparked deadly violence and rigging claims. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is under intense pressure to deliver a clean poll and release results by the 16th of August, which is tomorrow. Riot police were deployed overnight and inside the commission's heavily guarded tallying center in Kenya, Nairobi, in Kenya's capital Nairobi, after political party agents disrupted the process. The commission's chairman, Wafula Chebukati, previously accused the party agents of delaying the tallying process and haranguing election workers with unnecessary questions. Congregants in Odinga's stronghold of Kisumu also prayed for peaceful outcome, with the 81-year-old Bishop Washington Ogonyo Ngete telling his flock, "Don't let politics divide us, we must remain united." Let's see what happens tomorrow. Official announcements. And that brings us to the end of our moments in current affairs.
Are extraterrestrial. We are KLR.